Welcome back to the CSGO AZ Championships. We have ourselves what could be maybe the last map of today. Depends on whether or not VG can come back against EnVyUs. We're going to be moving on to Cash, which is a pretty good map for EnVyUs, especially considering that they're missing Happy, they're missing RPK, and they're going to be playing a bit more loose. This is a great map for that.
French teams on Cash, even French mixed teams, they should be comfortable. You've got the likes of Scream, very comfortable. I've played Scream on Cash. I played a game of matchmaking against Scream and his mates. I was solo queuing, which made it even worse. But yeah, he's nasty, man. He is a nasty piece of work. Scream will be solo in the middle position. 2-1-2 set up for the CT side. Summer's got 2 flashes and a smoke grenade. No P250s here for the T side, especially with the ranges on Cash. I always like to see P250s, but each to their own. They go for a simple split of the B bomb site. Kiyashima crouching, standing, taking one in the face. Still alive though. XMS will try to stop them from taking his breath for an out, but he's only good for the 1 frag. Rest of the team now moving in. And there is the round for VG, peppering these fools, making steak out of the EnVy players.
However, there is still a force buy to come, and force buys on Cash can be really dangerous because the CTs can push pretty effectively with CZs. The combination of running accuracy, running speed allows for you to kind of group up and take corners and choke points really quickly on the CT side. So there's a lot of danger that could present itself in this round for VG.Flash. It just really depends on how EnVyUs decide to play the round, because they don't have to go aggressive, and they looks like they're actually just going to play a pretty default setup here. I mean, it's almost as though they had, you know, actual weapons.
Generally speaking, if in a pistol round, if someone gets a kill and they lose the round, that means that they can buy a scout in the next round, because they'll have that $1,700. So you have to look out for that. There were 2 kills here for EnVy, but no scouts. That said, VG don't know that, so they may take that into consideration. Sometimes I like to have a P250 and a flash, so I always have 300 in the hole. It's the worst case scenario I can buy a scout, even if I don't manage to kill anyone and we lose the round. 1 minute mark. Now we can keep an eye, we can focus on how VG.Flash approach timing and their advancement towards one of these sites. Summer has quietly moved away from the B bomb site, and he will be collecting the bomb as VG look to push the A site.
Kiyashima still in the forklift position. Maybe they'll think the Molotov did its job. They need to make sure there's no complacency with that. Looking to burst into the A bomb site. Everyone's pretty much there now for EnVyUs, but again, their weaponry really sucks. Kiyashima aware that his positioning doesn't really work all too much in his favor, and they'll try to save what they can, but it's going to be a swift death, I think, for the remainder of EnVyUs. Oh, hello. Hello.
Oh,
no.
You don't see Asian teams doing that kind of thing very often. I like it though.
Yeah.
They're showing some confidence. Map down. No hair, we don't care.
He got denied. He got denied. I love that. I love when you see the knife get denied sometimes. It's really cool.
It's good spirits. Good to see. Now again, when we were at the Malaysian minor some time ago, the Malaysian qualifier, it was very interesting. A lot of the rounds, a lot of the buy rounds mid was non-existent for both teams. This is an anti-eco, but it went to multiple overtimes.
It was over 50 rounds. We casted over 50 rounds of 2 Asian teams, and we didn't see any mid takes on CTRT sides basically.
Yeah, it was very interesting. One would expect that it had developed considerably since then. So the amalgamation of VG.Flash can show us accordingly. Attack has been picked off by one of these pistoling players, like Kiyashima, getting his 300 bucks. But maybe the buck stops at the A site, which the bomb has just moved into. Molotov towards the car position. I don't know why. Maybe to stop them going past that angle towards the truck while they continue to get into position. Well, they've done that now. See what EnVy choose to do around the outside, the back of the B bomb site and connector. Flash content to have Shoking towards the car, and the rest of the team in the mid position, and they're really hunting these players. Lovey's pretty deep towards B with the Galil. And again, it's a question of risk reward. You don't want to have an isolated rifle that could get picked off, but VG.Flash look pretty coordinated. So I see promise for their buy round.
Yeah, the CT side is definitely characterized by aggression, though, so I'm curious whether or not we're going to see that from EnVyUs. They've got the AWP onto Sixer. Obviously, no Kevlar. We saw that that would be the case previously with how he handled his money. And I really do want to see an aggressive EnVyUs. I want to see them take cash and just play it with a limited amount of respect for their opponents. They will be playing very standard though here. There's again like no real pushing anywhere at this point. The basic smokes from the VG.Flash by one player and also by the CTs. So the CTs might be occupied for the present moment whilst those smokes are up.
Flash tried to, I think they were Molotoving Kishima and XMS earlier on and may expect the checkers area to be clear, but that smoke may tell a different story. Freeman keeping an eye on things. Again, there is a safer way to throw that Molotov, of course, from Summer's position. And there it is. And it seems the fact that Freeman even pulled out a Molotov makes me wonder if they're doing things like that on the fly and they're not sure who's supposed to be doing it. It's very clear who should be doing that. So
yep.
We may see shortcomings in the T side of Flash just based on that tidbit of information we just saw.
And there it is, the Molotov he used eventually for the sandbags. And XMS hears everything. And he's going to take the frag and dart out of that. I think he spotted Lovey. If he gets a flash from a teammate, beautiful Lovey! He knew to turn away from the flash. That's a beautiful read of the game. Knowing that XMS would ask for that flash and then calling the push into the bomb site. That is so awesome from VG.Flash.
Bomb planted, accessible from the checker's position. Scream maybe trying to catch someone on the rotation. I don't know if Haji spotted that player who was just peeking. Sometimes you can see over a smoke from this tree position, but also it allows you to get a weird engagement should the T's overpeak. 3-on-3. There is a smoke being deployed by Haji. He's got the pop flash as well. There are two of them. One can look to the left, one can look to the right. Scream trying to transfer, running out of bullets though. Haji unable to trade. Players lurking around the smoke, leaving Sixer alone. If a T peaks that position, he'll probably get a frag, but as you can see, the bomb is very ticked and there's no need to. No kids onto Sixer, no chance to save, but now he's got to try and save his AWP. And he's being checked for, but he will deliver the kill. No Kevlar, remember, for Sixer, but he's far enough away to avoid dying to the bomb. The only man to survive, the only man without Kevlar to start things off in this round.
Man, this was such a cool round from VG.Flash. Oh man. Like just the presence of mind for Lovey to just know to turn around from the flash. That, because I mean, XMS, it was pretty telegraphed, but there's just a lot of players that just wouldn't pick up on it. You know, they would just be looking for the peak. But Lovey, he read the situation perfectly, and that won them the round. That set them up to win the round. Now they get to benefits.
Yeah, they reacted pretty fast after that.
Yeah, straight in there.
They know the AWP is still alive, so they need to identify where it might be. There is a pop flash. The lurker towards B on any team will likely throw the same grenades as someone else, someone else, someone else. So people will mix in different flashbangs because it's very telegraphed, those grenades, as soon as you throw your smoke to smoke off the first entrance into B that a sniper rifle player would hold. So just something to be aware of if you do that at home. You need to throw in a flashbang here and there. You'll commonly find European players bounce a flash off useless room in case there is a push after the smoke. There was a variation from VG.Flash. 55 seconds on the clock. A 2-1-2 set up for EnVy with Sixer on the short position, which allows him to cover two places, two areas, A and mid. But now he's focused on A.
Looks like it might be a B split, actually. It's pretty difficult to tell still. VG.Flash are going back in towards the checker's position. And looks like they'll do so decisively. They will circumvent the AWP. That needs to be a kill. Look at the health here for VG.Flash. They're so weak. There's a really big opportunity, but it's so hard for EnVyUs to know that. And they sure as hell don't want to sacrifice the AWP, and Six is going to go down for sure there. Attacker will catch him as he tries to rotate around. And yeah, Lovey, Summer getting really desperately wounded, but they'll be likely fine unless they decide to walk into T-spawn.
In a situation like this, they already have a player through B on the CT side, so you'd imagine you'd head in his direction since he has more or less secured an exit, but for some reason Summer's going in the opposite direction with 17 HP. And now, I don't know if there's a weapon that he wants to collect or why exactly he's doing this, but it is, I don't know what the thinking was. Maybe, I don't know if they thought maybe the AWP might be with that last player or something, but if you don't think that, there's no reason for him to chase that player. You know, they are saving. You have 3,700 plus to lose, and he has maybe Kevlar with his pistol. Probably not, though. So I don't know if the reward is there for such a risk.
That music made me feel like I was playing Deus Ex or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's also like Tron is about to start showing.
I like it, I like it. Sixer going aggressive with the AWP. Is he going to get a catch? It's not super aggressive. It's oh, he goes in front of the smoke. That is brave. That is very brave. That is very, very brave.
Why did he wait for the smoke?
Yeah. Ooh, dear.
I guess he was expecting it to not be so deep, but it was a fatal mistake. Ooh. Now the T's are charging through. Kishima gets 2 frags and probably tags some more players. And there were already 2 players here for Envy. Now the whole team is here, so Flash may have outplayed themselves on this one. 3-on-3 though, and they're not committed to the site as much as they might think. They've got 3 players in that position, and I was going to say one player could go on a reconnaissance mission, but now they will be forced away by that 3rd frag for Envy. Yeah,
they had over a minute on the clock, and as you say, like no one's actually in the site. So do you go through a choke point where you have to keep running because you're in the open? Or do you actually just go back? I think you just go back there. So that was a bit of an overextension. You want to reset the situation. It's so powerful in a 3v3. The CTs just cannot cover everything. And whatever they do cover, there will be definite problems to it. But Freeman's going to be able to find himself a plant on the A side. And hello, 3 players to greet attacker. Now as Freeman looks onwards towards that connector position. The Z connector, though, will be covered by smoke. Freeman unable to see anything. Down to 17 health, looking for the next frag. He will spot 1 player. Now needs to find the trade fraggers. It's all too obvious where they come from. The numbers, though, too great, perhaps, to weather. And indeed, it will be unweatherable. Unweatherable, James.
Unweatherable.
I know you love it.
I don't know where to go with that.
I know you loved it. Get your umbrella out.
Just the first round for Envy. And yeah, they're expecting 1 player to be there. So, there as in somewhere on the B-bomb site. So they'll take a gamble and try to use a numbers game. Unfortunately for where Kishima was, they lined up for him and he gets 2 kills immediately. And that's before you consider there was a 3rd person in the vent as well. So VG.Flash trying to capitalize on that pick, trying to play a fast round. They had some nice fast reactions in previous rounds, but that time it was not the right play. And maybe they will be more conservative in their actions. They had the man advantage and they had lots of time on the clock, so we'll see. Now they have an opportunity to reset Envy, who have the AWP from the previous round. Some money here and there, but nothing great by any means. And the money is not good for VG.Flash either. So this is a pivotal round for both of these teams.
Yeah, it's all about chilling, it seems, this round for VG. It's slowing down the pace enormously. As you mentioned, they had been pretty fast in some of the previous rounds. But Envy is playing incredibly passive on the B-bomb side. They just have 2 players sitting there. And I think it's quite telling that there's no smoke, there's no smoke on B at all from the T's just yet. It's a singular lurker. There's a quick flash there. I'm not sure if that flash was missed or not, but either way, EnVyUs make their way into the locker's control, a main control. That's an important part of the map. And VG have nowhere else to go. They're going to start pushing into a B split. 2 players on the bomb site. There's a defensive smoke dropped down by XMS. Let's see if it works out for them.
Yeah, sometimes you can jump on the box at the back to look over the smoke, but that smoke is too far forward, I think, for that. But they smoke off the, or someone smoked off the headshot position, which limits Flash pushing onto the site itself, and then buys loads of time, plenty of time for Envy. That 180 from Kyoshima, surely Joking must have thought he was dead, but Lovely can do too. The pre-fire is there for him, and he does get the second kill, pulling his knife out. That's a mistake, but that leaves Haji alone because Scream was traded, so could have been worse. But there it is. Haji 1 versus 3. Is the vent open for him? Does he have an entry into the site? He has entry here at least, 3-2 spotted. Freeman will re-peek, and that will be the reset. 3 plays surviving for Flash, AWP collected.
So yeah, it wasn't on a CT smoke on headshot, was it? Like when I first
saw it, so I'm not sure.
I don't think that it was. But then you have to be suspicious, regardless, that T will just look at that as an opportunity to run through, because that's just going to happen. So I was surprised that there was no attention on it, as there were 2 people on the site. That's more than enough to have someone just dedicated to looking for that. Kyoshima did like 180 it though, as you said, but still.
I think, you know, when you do a certain spray and the person's always dead afterwards, and you just stop shooting, and then sometimes the odd time they're not dead, and then you get 180. You don't normally get 180 like that. You just fire another bullet, but that was a weird one. Anyway, back on pistols are Envy. Haji's got a bunch of grenades. Is there a plan behind them though?
The one thing with Envy is that they haven't really, like, we saw the previous round, they went aggressive like late into the mid round, which is okay, but I think like generally it'd be nicer to see more aggression from them. They've just been playing really passively in all of their buy rounds, and like we know from the we know about CT side of Cash that you have to take aggressions. If you look at any of the top Cash teams, that is what characterizes their CT side, is being able to go aggressive, take away map control, force the issue, shut down options for the T side, and instead of just sitting and letting a team, you know, run drills on you. And there have been a bunch of rounds in which, you know, VG.Flash have only had a single person just playing the B storage position. If that's the moment, you know, you go for a push, you win the sunroom, or you get the pick, changes the round entirely in your favor. So I want to see more aggression from EnVyUs on these buy rounds of theirs.
Well, we saw that play through the smoke from Sixer, where he was kind of, they could see him, but he couldn't see them, unfortunately. So
more aggression,
some more calculated aggression, maybe in order.
Yeah, that was a I didn't like that push because he was just trying to get like a cheeky frag. It didn't seem committed. He didn't have like someone to help support him. Like it was, and he didn't have a great spawn for it. It just seemed like he was trying to go out on a limb on a gut instinct, and
lack of respect for his opponent, perhaps.
Yeah, it did not seem like a good push when you're like trying to play, especially with an AWP. If you're trying to play the edge of a smoke, your barrels are going to be poking out for sure, as well. So either way, let's see if they can remedy. It's another buy round, no AWP though.
A change in approach from Flash towards the B-bomb site. You can see they are anticipating some aggression, but the normal CT smoke is down, which allows them to get into position. Got double HE grenades in case somebody is trying to play around the box. So it's a scary time for Envy. And now XMS is under the vent, and they have not done the usual grenades. If there is a Molotov to be deployed, speak of the devil, then he'll be spotted. Unfortunately for Flash, the person holding the angle with the AWP is the same person throwing the Molotov. I guess Lovey didn't have one. Otherwise, surely that guy's dead. Now Kyoshima will trade. He'll be spotted around headshot position. Does that pull a rotation? Not just yet. Sixer and Scream around mid. Haji around A. And all these CTs are firing, spamming through smoke, shooting through the door, asking questions.
Yeah, it's going quite well so far. 4v3, obviously, for EnVyUs. Trades, though. Attacker will take some critical damage, but it's gone to a 2v2, and they'll commit into the 2v1 onto the site. The smoke will aid them, but Scream can circumvent that. He's playing amongst the smoke. There might be a tiny little gap here. He's going to be so cautious. I don't think he's heard anyone jumping up on the forklift into the heaven position, so this is potentially a very big problem. However, if Kyoshima comes quickly enough through to the car position, ooh, that's the bomb. Okay, that changes everything. 20 seconds. Attacker has to get out of position. He's got 10 HP. And he's going to take one straight in the jaw. And that's going to be second round for EnVyUs.
What does that do for the money of the T side? Well, they're able to buy once again, but with Scream being the Only person surviving. No, there was two, sorry, who survived that exchange. Either way, again, it is a crucial time for Envy. They cannot afford, literally, to be reset once more. So we'll see if they're able to prevail and in the numbers. And again, maybe some aggression would be favorable to that, but then maybe they'll feel like they don't have the coordination for a play on Cash in the mid to late round. Although Haji has snuck through a smoke on main, but Shoking was looking for it and took him out immediately. So there was a simple attempt at some aggression, and it was punished accordingly.
Ooh, the snap was about to come in, but Kiyoshima's is too quick. And it's an equalizing frag. That's a very important one. A re-smoke there to keep the pressure up into B. Meanwhile, Shoking tries to walk out on A. So we didn't see sort of the grenades that preceded that play, but it did not work. And now it's a 3v4 for VG.Flash to try to find a solution to getting onto a bomb site. And they're trying to walk into the B bomb site now as well. You see Lovey trying to go in there, maybe even trying to adopt the AWP. In goes the Flash. Scream has had enough. He will eliminate 2 players. That's everyone gone from A main. The bomb on the ground. Lovey, the only remainder. It's a grim look here for the Chinese team. But a much-needed victory for EnVyUs. They're starting to scrape together what could end up being a respectable something like that, James. I was trying to
Yes, Dan.
I was trying to say the word that I was messing up, so they're just saying respectable, but didn't work out.
Valiant attempt.
Yeah, I can't make up words all the time.
Crucial win for Envy because they have broken the money of their opponent. So it is catch-up time now for EnVyUs.
Speaking of made-up words,
he was benched.
Yes,
I guess benched by a team. For a second, I didn't know what that word was at all. 4 players survived the previous round for Envy, and we've got 1/3 of the first half to go. Lots of halves and thirds and things.
Yeah, this is really good though for EnVyUs. I was really worried that they would just get like shut out of the half, and we'd see like one of the we were seeing with NRV and NIP.
Got to say quickly, Attacker actually doesn't look so good. From Attacker's POV, it looks like he has a reasonable spawn with which to peek mid. Although Freeman behind him is the one person with the AK-47. So I think in a round such as this, yeah, he's got no Kevlar, but it might be worth just having him try to pick somebody. And Sixer does indeed make the run on this round towards that short position. So there could have been a duel to be had there by Attacker. Maybe, maybe not. It seems they won't shy away from this push, but Freeman's in the perfect spot. And again, this aggression doesn't work out every single time. Sixer's got to clean up, but they're all over the site. They'll get a plant at the very least. Oh, that's the wrong smoke. At this point, with the bomb going down, you want to put the smoke between red and the wall. This side is very dangerous to put a smoke down. It's very problematic to deal with for a CT side. See how it plays out. And
that incendiary is really critical. It eliminates the corner by the forklift and anything around the forklift itself. So right now they have a better idea of exactly where the players can be. A main's likely. There's a smoke, but that's... Oh, just before the smoke blooms, a headshot rains onto XMS. Not sure that sentence makes sense, but
Kiyashima,
he's trying to get out of dodge. He will be the one dodging. The flick will be missed, and he'll lose the AWP. That was a round which it had a promise. It had promise for EnVyUs, you know, to try to keep things going, but it was all taken away by VG.Flash. You can see here this aggression is not working at all. That's a big problem. Yeah, so they're doing what you asked, Dan. It's just not working for them, unfortunately. That's one round, James. So Freeman has the, again, he has a forward spawn, so he could take that peek if someone's going to cross the mid position. And I think he's going for it this time. See some, okay, half going for it. But it is an eco round in fairness, so there's a fair chance that there are a lot of people in mid on a round such as this. So some people prefer to do it on a buy round, because if there's loads of people there rushing mid, then you're probably going to get wrecked. I don't know how much sniper play he has in him, but he won't take it from Summer. But I'm curious to see what they do when it is a buy round for the CT side. Anyway, Scream is in a very common position, although normally you would find him there on the T side. I played mid Z Connector once, and he was there on the T side. He just popped up and shot me in the head immediately, just like that. AK or Deagle doesn't matter for him. They know he hasn't fallen from his position because they've got people in the boost spot. Now, you could use a Molotov to force him away. You've got the guy with the angle in the low area. Instead, they choose to engage close. Now the Molotov comes in, but it continues to do damage at the very least. Yeah, that could very well have been a headshot as well. This is kind of cool. Haji's, you know, in all of the distraction, he's created a forward position for himself. And VG.Flash are in a spot where they've got no map control, and this is kind of the problem because people like Haji can be pushed up anywhere. It could be a guy in Sunroom, you know, there's a guy in the Squeaky. It's very difficult, and so, you know, you go with what you know, and that's what they've decided, which is middle. And a 6er with the jump instead of the jiggle. The jiggle is superior to the jump in that spot. And now it all seems to fall apart. Haji needs to open the door. He needs to go out. Gets that. Wow. Actually gets a kill. With the CZ and the Deagle left, maybe there's a possibility here. Kiyoshima has no Kevlar, though, with the CZ. So that's going to make life a bit tough. He can make his way forward. Doesn't want to jump up onto the containers. Finds the catch of the summer. In comes the trade frag situation. The flank from Kiyoshima is going to work out really nicely. I don't know how they won that round. I mean, Scream obviously got 2 kills in mid, and that was huge, but
post-plant, the T's dropped 2 smokes. First one was the one I talked about between the wall and the red container and the box next to it. I don't know if they left a gap in it deliberately, because after that they threw a smoke beyond that to smoke off the short position between the wall and the barrels. So I don't know if that was a funky thing to catch people off guard or if they just messed up the first smoke, but either way, that is not a round you should be losing in such a fashion, but it is what it is. We have 3 rounds remaining in the first half. Again, there's a good spawn for Freeman to peek the middle position, but it doesn't seem too keen on that. It just kind of uses the spawn to get close and then doesn't peek. So in the meantime, you see Zerking has got into the mid position very quickly indeed. Scream moving away from the short area. Now, will they consider that this could already be compromised? There's a question for EnVy. They've abandoned mid entirely. Scream moving towards Forklift, joining 2 more players on the A site. 6er sees a grenade fly by. Now, there are different angles you can take as a sniper player. You can take an angle towards the roof, which obscures your vision of the lower area, but then you are towards the car wall, if you will, which can leave you exposed to main. Or he can be in the angle where he just watches the cross entirely. Now we've got Haji rotating back towards that connector position, but 6 is holding the angle, so I guess Haji's on a fast rotation because I doubt he's going to really peek into that mid position. And now there's more rotation towards the B bomb site as these grenades come in towards B.
this is awkward for XMS. A little bit alone here. Haji will assist. No pushing headshot just at the moment. And hopefully that'll buy time for them, but it's not looking good. XMS just still sitting in the corner here. Smoke goes away. Oh, nice transfer there. In fact, actually, no, that was Haji to get all the frags. Haji with the triple comes in, saves the day. Absolute heroics there from him if you consider that, again, he drops the incendiary to stop his teammate, XMS, getting pushed. He uses that time to work his way around. As they push, as the Molotov dissipates and they're occupied with trying to kill XMS, Haji saves it and just kills everyone.
So many of them there, but not a single person watching CT as the smoke dissipates. The Molotov was genius. It kept the VG players contained. It kept them exposed. It kept them wide open when that smoke disappeared. And again, no one watching that smoke, and they got taken out for free. Something to look at in the demos afterwards. Pistols now for VG, and it's a very healthy fight here for EnVy. That level of spam won't always give you what you want. And attacker goes down. Spotted the location of Haji, but that's about it. Now we've got some breaches of the A site, but the Molotov will isolate Freeman and his teammate from the other players. Haji's trying to buy space, but those grenades won't save him. Already in the red, now he's dead.
6er does get a catch though, and there's a 3v3 now. Superior weaponry still for the CT side as they look to assault the A side again to regain control of it. Got to be careful not to get tagged down too much here. Both 6er and XMS taking some deagle, but there go the flames. That will force Summer out into position. Another tag going onto Shoking. It's a wonder he's still alive. Down to 2 HP. Surely not long for this world at this point. And indeed, he will be laid to rest as a retake is successful. Bomb was planted though, so the money will be awarded to VG.Flash. An extra $800 each player. And that will go a long way to helping them get a full buy of grenades here.
For show, for show. That is crucial. Ooh, statistics. Trivia. Who's it, Dan? Who's it going to be? Attacker. I said attacker at the beginning. Never mind. was removed from Tyloo's active lineup at the start of the year following a dispute with the organization, but returned in the fold in time for Jamaica Masters Las Vegas, where the almost.
I'm on a cliffhanger now, so I don't know what's going on. What happens?
2 AWPs continue for the Envy side. Look at those big ass numbers.
I like that.
It's like bingo.
Look at those big numbers. I like the big numbers.
So
emboldened.
We seem to have a focus towards the A site here from Flash Gaming. 4-on-4 as there was an early exchange. 2 AWP still active for Envy. Kishima keeping an eye on mid, which leaves only XMS towards B bomb site, but there's no one towards B for Flash to pull rotation as they continue their focus towards A.
Explosions. Flames. Doors opening, doors closing. Sounds of CSGO. 4v4 is run into the bomb site. No one checking Haji's position. He's happy. He's a happy chappy, isn't he? Able to just sit up there like a king in a tower. I don't know if kings sit in towers, but that's what he was doing. Anyway, the 8-7 scoreline for VG.Flash. Could have gone a bit better, actually. I mean, they had a fantastic start. It's definitely impressive for EnVyUs to really find the recovery to make this an even situation. If you're just joining us, EnVyUs won the first map, which was Inferno. So this is important for them because they definitely don't want to lose against VG.Flash, and they can close it out in cash. And I think that is a situation where things only will get worse for them as the series continues. As you know, we've been mentioning, this is they're minus happy, minus RPK right now, so they're not going to be able to play as drilled, as routine as they normally would. And looks like they want to go for that play into the A site. There's 4 people here to respond from VG.Flash.
They're not going to A, Dan. This is the biggest fake of all time. Or maybe I am mistaken. Indeed, they are going towards the A site. XMS trying to open the door. At least he'll do that much, but he won't get through it very far. Okay, I don't even know where that came from. Disguise, perhaps, but it is a 4-on-4, and we're having Sixer get picked off now as they're still trying to get through these choke points. Envy, but it seems they are getting choked. Scream and Kishima trying to plant the bomb. Is it safe? Is anyone around the corner? They seem unsure. The fake plant from Scream goes for the real plant. Does he think it's his teammate behind him? Scream is dead now. Kishima does triple peek. Oh, that's a nice one tap with the P250. P250 showing its power on a map such as Cash. Wide open ranges, better than a Glock for sure. How do Flash play this now? They've got one player in the squeaky door position. And surely, once Freeman engages, the player on default will engage as well. Is he fast enough for the trade? He's not. Oh! And Kiyashima cleans it all up. He's had a number of nice plays here on Cash, and that is a very crucial one in the pistol round of the second half.
P250, baby. He had no Kevlar, by the way, just FYI. So the fact that he was able to get that kill after getting tagged twice is pretty impressive. He didn't lose his patience when he got aim punched. He just kept tapping away, trying to be accurate. At the same time, though, Kiyashima did abandon the guy planting the bomb. He did sell him out. He literally just ran deep into the A main whilst his teammate was alone planting the bomb against 3 players. And it was a situation where there was no distraction. It wasn't like the CTs, it was safe because there was rotation time. The CTs were there already. They're on top of the bomb site. So I don't know why he went away, but at least he created a problem, then he solved the problem, James. He did it with the P250.
EnVyUs, I'm not sure if it's tactical pause or technical pause, but it's a pause of some description. The game is paused. Oh, stats, let's go. Trivia, Shoking, let's go. See if we can read it. It's your turn, Dan. Go, go, go.
Played for Tyloo as a stand-in at Star Series Season 3 due to Ben Sets being unable to acquire a visa, but unable to get a single win.
Man, my sentence was much longer than that.
Honestly, that's like Deus Ex music. I like it.
It's game show music. Are you choosing A or are you choosing B?
No, it's like I'm in the menu. I'm like ready to choose a new augmentation.
It's the $1 million question. Lovey alone towards the B bomb site in a force buy from VG.Flash. 4 pistols of varying flavors. Lovey, you appear to be on fire, sir. Freeman. Oh, he's found some space. He got out of the kitchen and he was pushed back in again. Died from asphyxiation.
Man. I have a... So speaking of Deus Ex, right? What was it? Human Revolution, that That was the new one, right?
That was one of all the sparkly gold bits.
Yeah, so that was like the first new one, right? And it was really weird because like no matter like what you did, you couldn't like choose the way that you played that game. You could just like do every approach at once, and then you had to fight. Like you couldn't like avoid fighting the bosses and stuff. They didn't do a good job, James.
I enjoyed it. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, you didn't have that, but that's not.
Like
I don't have like a raging boner for that.
The original was all about just like being able to choose a style to play and just like do it, and it's. But that one was like really explicit.
Have you played
boring in that way?
Mandem Divided?
Mandem Divided. Is
That's
that
the new one.
actually a game?
That's the new one.
Oh, right.
Deus Ex Mandem Divided.
Mankind Mandem Divided. That is so good. Did you just make that up?
There is a game, Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
No, I know, but like, did you make it because Mankind? Did you?
Yeah.
Because that's got you just
I
made
did.
up just on
I
the
did.
spot.
I did a funny then. I did a funny.
Just on the spot right now. That's
on the fly like that. Wow, thank
there
you
you
for
go. You get a little clap.
ruining
Really
it and
good.
my existence.
That's really good.
3 Mac 10s for Team Envy in this round, but they're looking to clean up the eco of VG.Flash Gaming. Summer has the UMP. Unfortunately, he has the flashbang as well, so maybe he can run backwards and throw a flash over his head. But Attacker will get something out of it. Attacker's been good with that CZ of late, but Summer is blind, leaving Lovey and Shoking alone. And they're gone. And it's gone.
Well, you got to feel for Summer there. Just blind, exposed, blind and exposed.
He didn't see it coming.
Defenseless. He's
Probably the
defenseless.
best way to go out.
He can even fight back. Feel bad for the guy. EnVyUs, though, you shouldn't feel bad for them. They're on the comeback trail. They've got 10-8 on the scoreboard at the moment, and this is cool. I mean, XMS is going to hold on to a Mac 10 as 3 players with no helmet, or heads Kevlar, as if you're Vendetta.
Head Kev.
Head Kev, if you're Vendetta.
Kevlar for your head.
But no, it's cool to see the Mac 10 sometimes in these buy rounds, just due to the fact that, like, you don't need to have 4 AKs or 5 AKs sometimes. Sometimes if your plan is to get a fast play in there, it can be quite beneficial to have a Mac 10 because you can shoot it effectively whilst you run. So the first player can create space for the guys behind him. And also you have this lack of helmets present on the opposing team. The Mac 10 then becomes actually kind of powerful, used in the right way, in the right strategy.
That was a good timed spray through the door, and Haji, it'll be painful for him. Smoke onto quad, Attacker gets his bell rung, and Envy know now there is a heavily tagged player around that quad position, trying to flank through the forklift area, and that's going to catch them completely off guard, VG.Flash Gaming. Surely this is a save already. They keep moving towards the A site, but it was already a 5 versus 3, completely out of position. I think it was time to give it up, but they press on VG.Flash. 2 versus 4. How far do they want to go into this? Because surely this is a lost cause. Shoking is only outside the B bomb site, and Lovey is starting to back off. Scream starting to flank. He wants to take these weapons away. But I think it was already safe territory at 3 versus 5.
Yeah, the flank on Scream is actually pretty good timing too. Shoking is obviously looking at this angle, but I think that Scream has a good opportunity to win the fight, and he will. It's really close. It goes down to 2 HP, but that's job done, really. There's a really big difference between saving with 2 players and saving with 1 player. Like, 1 player is, I mean, it's kind of useless in some respects in comparison, just because if you save with 2, there is a world where 2 players can drop guns, so 2 players can drop guns, and then you only have like 1 guy with an awful weapon. If it's just 1 guy, you can drop for 1 guy, then you still have 3 people with awful guns. So
I think if it's an AWP though, you do have the miracle rounds on cash that are possible.
It's true. Like if you buy it with CZs around it and stuff, you can do a lot with an ult. But if it's just the M4s, not quite as impactful, unfortunately. Okay, what are we going to see here? XMS going straight through and straight out again.
Interesting. Well, it seems it was a play with the intent of a fast support from the upper area, but again, against an ecoing team, not a risk that you necessarily need to take. And Envy just running in to positions everywhere. And look at all the health. Is this the right idea that you want to? Oh, Summer, he goes for it, and he continues. Yeah. He's cleared the A main site, and I feel like, is this the correct approach to a round where you know they have 1 rifle and a bunch of pistols? I
actually like this player from Sixer going up middle and going to peer into because there's a world where, you know, one player could try to rotate the car or vice versa, but actually VG deciding to go together. And 6 is going to wrap around the back. It's also cool because, again, you eliminate what is one of the likely positions, which is car. And if there's no one car, then, and there's no one on the site, you're probably fine to get away with the plant here. And it's funny because VG.Flash are exactly tracing 6's steps. It's as though he left footprints. Like maybe he's got muddy boots, James. And they're just following his muddy boots. Because that was a perfect call from VG.Flash as well.
Well, I would put that as an unforced error on the part of Envy.
Yeah. Well, I think the first rush out into mid, I got what XMX was going for. Like he was looking right, and Scream is looking left as he comes up on the boost. So, but basically the timing was off. I think, or the player was obscured by smoke, one of the two.
The smoke that was protruding in main, sorry, in mid, looked like the kind of smoke that you normally bounce off of T Warehouse when you're making a solo play into mid.
Right,
but that gives the CTs space to hide behind. So
you need to be further forward, is what you're saying. The smoke.
Well, I mean, if you're going to make that play, you might not even be able to support your teammate if depending on the spawns. I don't know. I just think there is risk there.
Yep.
But whatever, we are in this situation now. VG have been allowed back into the game because of these plays, and here we have the 2-1-2. I mean, in fairness, we are going to see some issues, as we mentioned before, with Envy's play, purely because at the moment they're essentially a mixed team, so they're not necessarily going to have the attention to detail that you would see from a tried and practiced team who say, okay, you've got time to look at demos and so on and say, okay, make sure we have this, and you do this, and you do that. It's going to be more on the fly, so these things may happen.
So EnVyUs, after an uneventful early and mid rounds, decide that, okay, 40 seconds left, let's just run into A. Let's see if that works out. They did it very quickly in many rounds, and it did work out. So had to hit the shots because everybody's here for VG.Flash, and headshot after headshot after headshot, and eventually, after the dust settles, we're left with Lovey with an AWP. He also gets headshot. And all we saw there was
sky.
It was the sky.
Beautiful blue sky. But that's an example of the smoke grenade you want to throw post-plant, because in a lot of cases, the CTs have to just wait for it. Otherwise, I mean, you can try and make a play with a pop flash. It doesn't happen so often, and it depends on the positions you're retaking from, but it really is a problem for CT sides looking to retake the A bomb site. 9-12 favoring Envy. We have Summer on the AWP. Now, this is the kind of round we were talking about previously, but Shokin gets taken down immediately. Lovey will try to smoke off the position, but he may be susceptible to some spray from the T side, and it seems they will not be deterred. They're going to go for a push. I'm not expecting their play to be so close, and there were gaps on both sides of that smoke, and that will make the round easy to secure for Envy.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see that they go fast, because going fast, especially, you know, towards B, you know, it can just be. You don't get this if the CTs aren't stacking it, which is one of the possibilities. Then it's very likely you can just quickly trade to success. And as you say, James, you know, it's going to be a lack of routine in this team. It's kind of a mixed team in that sense, and due to that fact, it's cool to see. That's a nice jump. It's cool to see that they just decide to go fast, because that really cuts out a lot of decision making. It cuts out a lot of variance. It makes it easier for what is effectively somewhat of a mixed team. So,
RPK, I think, is tuned in. Around 5 minutes ago, he tweeted some support to the team of Envy, which then makes me wonder why he isn't playing. It's very, I don't know. There's lots of questions to be answered, but again, they have been apparently instructed not to communicate too much, especially not on Skype.
We could just spread rumors, James. We just spread false rumors. We could just say whatever.
We could.
And we'll just assume that we're saying the truth.
RPK is going to be joining Luminosity.
He's preparing for a marathon.
He's learning Brazil.
In Mount Everest.
He is learning Brazil then.
Yep.
Sixer continuing his focus on these 149 shots.
See ya!
There we go. Finally got one.
Hello, Reddit. Well, actually, I mean, it's a bit old, isn't it now? It's been done.
Summer, some might say then that summer is over.
Yeah.
The leaves have turned brown. Shoking has the AWP, another desperate round for Flash Gaming. And they're running out of desperate rounds because Envy are on 13. Oh, I love this position when you're right in front, but it's very telling. The door opens the opposite way because someone is there, so that's a clue for the T side. They start spraying immediately. Doesn't work out for VG.Flash Gaming. 2 pistols now to try and protect this AWP for the round to come.
Yeah, it's definitely looking pretty smooth here from EnVyUs. As soon as they like turned up the pace, they started to be able to catch VG off guard. That said, you know, one of the rounds that they did win was actually a very delayed A rush. And that was, I think, you know, what's caused some of the resets here onto VG and just put them into the pistols. But yeah, that's Body absolutely popularized the hell out of that wall bang. The body bang. And it's not too much to be. I actually haven't seen anyone land it in ages because like most teams in Europe and North America are pretty good at sort of like knowing the 149 timing and sort of like jumping over it, or you know, in some respect like being able to avoid it in whatever way by delaying the timing, whatever it might be. But EnVyUs will be happy with that one. The French teams and their shenanigans. 14-9, and they are 2 away now from taking down VG.Flash. Still, of course, other teams to represent the region in the other group. And we'll see now the mid-take, very quick mid-take here, and much more successful for XMS. He's alive, James. He's made it past the doors.
Yeah, but Scream didn't make it through the smoke. He got sprayed down to 7 HP, and XMS has taken chunks of death down. But not all the chunks. He's got some chunks left over. Scream now will be lurking towards the B-bomb site with his low health. Kishima towards the squeaky door. Not afraid to show his presence. And Sixer has been heavily tagged as well. No frags just yet, but Envy could quickly lose a number of players with the health on these individuals.
Interesting spot here now for EnVyUs. 1 minute left. Ooh, pick off from Kishima. That's pretty important. The health on the remaining players of EnVyUs is not perfect, and there is still time to mess with VG.Flash a little bit as far as rotations are concerned and so on, but looks like they're just going to force the issue straight into the A site, use the numbers, and there's 2 players, and the third has abandoned the B-bomb site and is playing rotation around connector, so they know it's A already.
Well, they've seen the bomb now. It lies in front of the main position. Sixer moving up the highway area. Kishima running distraction for the time being. And the trade is there. Now, Summer, last man versus 2. Sixer gets picked off. 17 seconds for the bomb to go down. And XMS will commit. He knows the CT's by the car position, but where has he gone? He's gone to the squeaky door. Did he close it behind him? He's rotating all the way around. But what scenario will Summer be in? He's closed the door. So, is the bomb plant exposed to main, however? No, he can defuse that from behind quad, so there's no reason for him to look anywhere else unless he thinks he might be... Oh, this is getting super weird, but it works out for VG.Flash. Wasn't sure if somebody could be quad, but it was a 10-second defuse, in fairness.
But also, like as you say, just due to the plant, XMS had to like wide peek it, which really screwed him over because Summer came off the bomb. Like you can see, so Summer comes off the bomb to check behind him, like expecting that long rotation through mid perhaps, which actually no, like surely couldn't have expected that. That wouldn't have made any sense with the bomb plant being where it was, but he's checking something. Came back, XMS is wide peeking looking for him and is exposed, very exposed.
Summer has a good spawn for the B-bomb site, he did. There we go, Summer's in position. Shoking is eliminated in the mid area. I think he was sprayed by Scream. Scream must have had a spawn. Even if the smoke is there, people still know the lineups. I would imagine he was running next to, well, where Freeman's standing right now. Some people run here, some people run diagonally to get under the boost, but that can often be sprayed by T's as well to stop CTs getting into that position. So it is one of the risks of playing the mid position. Now that's a great frag by Sixer.
Yeah, you really like those little team play setups. I'll open the door for you and you'll get the kill. One job is a bit easier than the other, but teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. Now, it's a decisive advantage for EnVyUs, and I would imagine that indeed. There's no money left in the hands of VG.Flash. If VG.Flash did not find a way to save these 3 guns or win the round through v5, this series is likely going to be over fairly soon. They've got to find something, and they'll only find the business end of Six's AWP. And business is booming. Like what I did there.
Very good. Lovey alone on the A side. Summer desperately rotating. Is he good for the second frag? No. He spotted the bomb, but Summer can't get into position fast enough. Ooh, spotting plays, jumping around, but he's missed his 1 shot. And now he's surely going to get multi-peak. Goes for it anyway. Not going to work out for him. And that is match points to Team Envy. And the money is really bad. Wow, from the boost position, not even a wallbang. Holy potatoes. That is not the usual spray you see. Very nice work by Scream to get that opening frag. And it has helped Envy put themselves in a fantastic position where they now face a UMP and 4 pistols, 3 CZs, a Deagle, and still Sixer continues to go for the 149.
Summer going aggressive though, chasing Haji. Here's the running. He's going to fall back. Taking a pretty good angle. He's really safe.
Those are the pop flashes we mentioned earlier. The usual grenades, but mixing a pop flash in anticipation of something like that happening. VG.Flash trying to use the numbers. Told no.
No! Like that?
Yeah, more or less.
Nice. Got to give a demonstration. Tension in the air. For VG.Flash, it could all be over soon. They are going to need something a little bit special here. It's unlikely that EnVyUs are going to mess this one up. They have a very solid advantage to play with. Kiyoshima pushing forward with the smoke. It's a nice play. Finds himself free, man. Attacker needs to get himself some kills, get himself an AK-47. He's got to get something going for the team. There's 1 kill. Can pick up the AK and take the next 1v1. In goes the fight. He gets it as well. A 4v3 now. There's a chance here for VG.Flash, and EnVyUs now need to make a call. They've got to go. They've got to pick a site, and they've got to pick it now.
35 seconds, and someone's position may yield 1 kill at the very least. XMS is, he doesn't know what the status of Checkers is, which is a problem. And now he's got a player on the high ground running distraction. Doesn't need to refix. He's good for 2 kills now. Just the 1 Scream coming back. 16 seconds to get onto the site. Shokin can't get into position, but the CTs are here and they will engage. They're lining up. Another 1-for-1. Scream versus Lovey now. Lovey's on fire. He needs to make a decision. The bomb's going to be collected. Is there time? Is the Molotov going to touch him? No. Here's the beep Lovey. He starts to move forward into position. Scream here's him. The pre-fire is there, and he will get the kill. Round number 11 for VG.Flash, and maybe, just maybe, they will have a slightly better buy in the next round. Only 1 player surviving, though, and Envy are falling over their money, so they are coming back strong.
Yeah, that was a lot of desperation, wasn't it? Like the desperation run onto the bomb site, and the desperation from VG to stop them to getting onto the bomb site in time. But again, you know, Attacker, it was a lot about his initial effort on the A sites, able to create a very positive situation for his team. The double kill went a long way. Double AWP from EnVyUs, of course. You know, they have a lot of money, so I imagine there's an AK on the floor. Okay, mixing up the timing a little bit here. VG.Flash not going to get abused by that. Jumping onto the signpost, but Hanch is in position there as well. Lovey going a little bit aggressive around the smoke. In sort of middle of the road aggression. Not really forcing the issue. I would call it truly aggressive if they were to try to push in an effort to take control of Sunroom, but instead they all chill out. They will have much chill. Actually, maybe there isn't another AK on the floor because there's still 2 AWPs in play here. Six has got $0 in the bank. It's not a good amount of dollars to have in the bank. But at least he's in the black, I suppose.
2 snipers, eh? Well, one of them's got off to a good start, and that's an open mid. Sixer very quickly moving towards the white box position, pop flashing himself in. And he is showing no fear. Scream getting out of mid with the bomb, rotating it towards A main, where XMS lies in wait. We see a smoke grenade seemingly from a T side into the quad position. Ooh, look at that movement from Soaking with the mouse. That's a nice no-scope from Sixer. And Attacker now alone on the A sites, finds a gap, but he's not playing his cards just yet. Would expect him. Well, it's Scream and headshots. Two things go together very well. Soaking now, last man standing between Envy and a 2-0 over VG.Flash. Moving up the highway position. Scream and Sixer waiting. How close can he get before they detect him? Chooses not to go up the ladder. See the very small mouse movements edging forwards to find one of these players. Goes to check main. Sixer shoots him in the back, and that's going to be that. 16-11, a 2-0 for Team Envy over Flash Gaming. Was a pretty good start for Flash.
Yeah.
Was it 5-1, 7-1? They went up?
Yes.
But they couldn't do it in the end.
Yeah, they got, it was like an 8-3 situation. Like, it looked really, really solid, and the last 4 rounds went to EnVyUs. And I was not too confident that they were going to be able to pull those rounds together, but they managed to make it work. And so that was, very nice for them. And it's good to see like the fight out of VG.Flash, though. Definitely a lot of potential in that team.
Over to Paul and the analysts at the desk.
Thank you very much. Just rewind that. We'll fix it in post. Thank you very much, Mr. Bardolph and Mr. DDK, for the last 2 series. Commentary, of course. That is it. We're done. But we'll recap the 4th and final series, and we'll recap the entire day, actually, with our 2 panel members. We've got Natu and Mr. Sean Garris back with us as well. Gents, in the end, anyone that comes in and looks at this on paper will go 2-0. Yeah, it looks about right. But that doesn't tell the story of that second game, because that could have gone either way.
Yeah, I thought VG.Flash was going to take the second game, but I also thought they were in position to take the first game on Inferno, and there was a 4-on-2 where Lovey, I think, jumped out of halls into a Molotov, and from then the game just turned around and EnVyUs took it away. And then this match, I think Kiyoshima came up huge. Obviously, in the stats page, it shows, but he had so many impact rounds. He had the Eco round where Scream got the first 2K, and he comes in with the 2K with the CZ. He had the first gun round where he sprays 2 people through the smoke. He had the pistol round, which actually kicked off their second half. And those are all huge rounds to actually get things going for EnVyUs in this match.
Yeah, and having that lead on Cash as well, massive for VG. You thought, this is where they're just going to put that last nail in the coffin, but it felt like they maybe ran out of stamina and started free-flowing a little bit too much, and then you see similarities to what we saw in the NIP match from VG, which too many times where they're not able to trade any kills whatsoever, even their entry into the bomb sites. And when you have someone like Envy and the players they have, they're going to capitalize on those opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, at 8-3 on the first half, you kind of expect them to go on and get at least a couple more rounds out of the last 4, and to end up at 8-7 was disappointing for them. But if that was disappointing, the second half was even worse.
No, I think Sean is really correct here with Kyo being the problem solver more than anything.
Being Kyo.
Yeah, exactly. He was hitting some nutty shots. What I know him for, he's the type of guy who can just enter to the bomb site. He can get those 2 headshots. That will basically dictate the round. And he managed to do that in such a massive, consistent basis that VG just didn't have the answer.
Yeah, I mean, again, as I said, looking on paper, Sean, you look at this and you just go, well, that's really disappointing. They lost both their series. Yeah. They haven't picked up a map win, but actually, there's been some suggestions that they're making progress, at least, because this isn't the team that we see internationally an awful lot. Summer particularly came out of both those games looking quite good. Yeah, I actually think, they can come out of this event. They're obviously going to be pretty depressed that they went out 0-4, but there's like silver linings here for them. I think they played pretty well. There was a lot of halves where they just clearly ran out of ideas. They weren't deep enough tactically. And I think they play a lot of their late round scenarios, the clutch scenarios, pretty poorly, and they should look at those. But in the early stages of the half, when they clearly had a game plan, they were getting opening kills a lot of the time. And I think over time, they win this match more often than not, given more experience.
Yeah, I think one of the faults is CT sides, they don't necessarily really have I'm not sure if it's experience or what it is, but it feels to me like they don't really understand certain concepts of such as like when do we need to be aggressive, when do we need to be passive, and certain like rules of thumb, if you will, that the teams usually have for different situations. For example, when we lose middle, how do we react? If we have a main, what do we do? Those kind of little things that, and then especially as the round keeps on going further, which helps you adding things up. Okay, it is very likely they're going to be doing this because we have this amount of map control. So those are tiny little bits that when you start putting those together, That's the difference maker.
Scoreboard on screen right now, some highlights for you. Summer 19 and 17 in this one. Also, he was 22 and 18 in the first game, despite losing both of those. So very impressive stats from him. Also, Kiyoshima 28-13 on the second game. That follows up a 20 and 13 on Inferno. And Scream 24 and 18 on Cash was 24 and 14 on Inferno. Shout out to Haji, who was 22 and 16 on Inferno as well. I guess Kyo and Scream, that's you know, the stats say it, the game said it, the halves said it. Those are the two that they're relying on. If they're going to go any further in this tournament, they're both going to need to come up like that every game.
Yeah, they're definitely the two people that EnVyUs need to perform at this tournament. So it's good to see them both stepping up here. And yeah, I think that actually pushes them out of the group, obviously. So they have some time, not much, to think about it. I think they have a day off, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
And there's also the underlying potential that Haji has, honestly, because he's the type of guy who's a really good closer. He's good at those 3-on-3 situations where he gets to dictate the game just by his game sense and reading the situation. So I think that's a trio that really can make some plays happen. Yeah.
Even though EnVyUs was really puggy throughout the game, one thing that I really liked was that B hold that we saw on the replay where they smoked front sight, they Molotov'd headshot, and then they flashed through heaven, and Haji ran through the spawn smoke, met up with, I think, XMS in the site. Yeah. That was an excellent hold and a great usage of utility for a puggy team.
Yeah, it's a start somewhere, isn't it? Something we say, okay, there's some promise here. This looks really good already early on.
Well, they got 4 maps of practice now, right? So
they're good to go.
Yeah. They might be back at the hotel practicing tonight as well, because there's plenty of scrim opportunities down there as well. Let's take a look at the bracket and bring it right up to date with how Group A has panned out, because that is it. They're done. I know you might think, well, hold on, that's GSL format. You can't leave it there. There's one more game to play. No. Let me explain. Group A will have, as Group B will have, 3 teams going through first, second, and third. The top team will advance directly to the semi-finals. In this case, Na'Vi have gone through after a 2-1 win over Ninjas in Pyjamas and a 2-0 sweep of EnVy a little earlier on today. So they'll be playing in the semi-finals. They've got a 2-day break. Ninjas in Pyjamas, in fact, 3-day break. I'll come to that in a moment as well. Ninjas in Pyjamas and EnVy obviously tying. However, NIP finishing second on the basis that they went through to the winners match and EnVy having won the elimination match. So Ninjas in Pyjamas will finish in second place, and that'll put them in the quarterfinals, as it will EnVy, which is why we don't play that game. No need. They're both in the quarterfinals. Doesn't really make any difference. That's because, of course, we've got Group B tomorrow. And we'll go through exactly the same thing again. GSL format, 4 games. Yeah,
I think this group played out really how everyone probably thought it would, but the games were actually pretty close between NIP and Na'Vi, and then this last game that we just saw, it could have gone either way, technically.
You surprised, Natu, that we had a 3-game between those two?
I mean, for me, the highlight of the day was really seeing NIP perform as well as they did with very little practice, considering Lekro just literally joined the team, and as we see, that's going to change a lot of the dynamic of the team, but obviously Dennis and Forrest being able to pick up the AWP when need be, and now they have so much firepower in the pistol rounds. They're going to be a deadly team on those. So, yeah, that's a promising sign for the tournament.
Yeah, it's good. Good. And if you can start the game and you already think, yeah, we're basically 3-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, we have Lekro, Dennis, and Forrest.
Yeah. Insane pistol players.
You're winning 1 pistol every match.
Yeah, if you don't win any pistols in a match, there's something going wrong in that team.
The odds are there.
They are indeed, yeah, whether it's clutch or taking them from the front. What was the other standout performance today, do you think? Do you think was that NIP game against Na'Vi, or do you feel like Simple's game was a standout for you? I mean, there's so many good things we saw in that 3 game.
I would say Electronic. Electronic really stepped up in that best of 3, in my opinion. Simple, obviously, it's always going to perform. It kind of sucks to say that you just expect that of him because he's just such a phenomenal player. But Electronic really showed up in that best of 3 when they needed him most. T-side and Mirage. And without that half, in my opinion, Na'Vi probably falls to NIP.
I think if you have to highlight someone, Get Right had a lot of crucial kills in the game. It was good seeing him clutching. You know, once upon a time, he was probably the best clutcher. So getting Gilliams from that once again was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how adding a new player to the team can sometimes fire up the other players in the team, give them a bit more motivation.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something to that. Let's take a look at Group B, because we've got Group B coming up tomorrow. So a little bit of a preview for you. These are the 4 teams. Heroic, MVP PK, Tyloo, and Virtus Pro, of course, the 2 that stand out now, of course, Virtus Pro and Heroic. But actually, Sean, I think this group might be a little bit more open. MVP are no slouches. They've been doing quite well. Tyloo, although they got in through the back door here, they have done well internationally recently, top 4 at IEM Sydney. So there's some form amongst all 4. This could go any way, this team. It depends which versions of these teams turn up.
Yeah, Heroic's actually playing really well since Freiburg joined the team. Tyloo has definitely not been a slouch at these international events lately. VP showed glimmers of hope actually at Star Series when we were watching him there.
Don't start.
I don't mind. Come on.
We're all just gonna get disappointed.
A little bit better. A little better. Posh is in good form. Yeah. Posh is in good form.
Yeah.
And yeah, MVP. I haven't actually seen much of them.
Old schoolers.
Yeah.
They were playing the game before we were doing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, MVP, as always, I've seen a bunch of them at the Asian Minors, for example, in these tournaments here in Asia. Like, they usually have the theory of the game really well now, but really the issue has usually been just the timings, the executes, and the way you kind of have a feel of who needs to really push through smokes and stuff like that. So if they've been able to dial those things down, and I mean, obviously, they've shown some promise. So this is, for me, a very, right now, if you look at those teams, this could go any way, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, people will obviously look at it and say MVP are the underdogs, though.
Yeah.
And
likely
which
so,
would you have? Would you have Heroic as the favourites in this group?
Could be Tai Lu. Honestly, it's like 50-50 between those two. That's actually
there's not much to differentiate, honestly.
Yeah. It could go either way tomorrow.
If the plow turns up?
I mean, Nadu's not going to allow me to say it, so.
You can say it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. The plow's showing up.
The plow's showing up. I like
we
it.
got this.
All right. Sean's positive about the plow. That's it for today, though. Thank you very much for tuning in to the CSGO Asia Championship. This is CAC, if you like. Hashtag CAC as well, if you want to use it and mention anything you'd like about what you've seen today. Don't forget, also add your questions to the Reddit thread. Maybe we'll get through some of those tomorrow as well. But thanks for joining us. I know it's been a long day, but I hope you've enjoyed the coverage here in Shanghai. We'll see you tomorrow for day number 2, and we'll move on to Group B. It's more of the same, hopefully. We'll see you then.